Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. In this episode, me and Dan are going to be sharing with you the step-by-step process of buying a piece of raw vacant land and building a house on it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. There does not need to be so much mystery in buying a piece of land and building a house step by step. In this video, me and Dan are going to share all the light and also show you the pitfalls to avoid when buying land and building a house on it. What's up, Dan? How are you?
Hey, Brent, I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm really good. Guys, you are in for a special treat today. I have pulled Dan Haverkos, the king of building houses in Pueblo, Colorado. Dan and I got to partner up about a year ago, and we've been building houses together. In this video, we're gonna share like some live case studies of what we make on these spec houses, how we buy this land, how we find the land, and then the steps that we take to build the land. So I'll go ahead and start. First, we got to pick our playground. The playground Dan has been so successful in is in Colorado. One of my playgrounds is Florida. So the first thing is picking the actual playground and targeting the land that you want to buy in the area. Go ahead and jump in on this because you've been phenomenal at it.
Yeah, Brent, that's such an important point because spending the time up front to buy the right land in the right location makes the rest of the process much easier. So take all the markets that we've been building in, for example, they all are already subdivided. They have water, sewer, power, gas lines all running, like the utilities are ready to go and they're zoned appropriately for what we're going to build, right? We're not going and mailing for commercial land, wanting to build single family houses, right? So when you, as you say, pick your playground, it's so important to do that properly because again, if you market for the right land that is shovel ready, as it's called, that is going to make the whole process very easy. So all the lots that Brent and I build on are simple quarter or half acre lots, houses on both sides, utilities ready to be hooked up to, zoned for single family, flat or mostly flat. All the upfront work that went into finding those markets and then marketing for that land allows the whole process to be very simple.
Dan, I love the fact that you mentioned shovel ready. You had mentioned the fact that there's utilities, water running close by, sewer, or maybe we'll put septic on it. I know one of the properties, teaming up with you and actually, because the first one I ever did was kind of like I was literally shooting in the dark, but still, even doing that, I still was able to make profit with it. So I didn't realize what shovel ready was when I first started buying this land. Another way to explain that is like there's water and utilities and electric running close by, and really you just need to do a soil test and see what kind of dirt we need to bring in to start building the foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really key. And the difference here is we're not going out taking huge tracts of rural land that have no utilities, no zoning, none of that, and going through that process to get the land entitled and have utilities brought out and do all the subdividing. That can be extremely profitable, but it is fairly time intensive. You have to deal a lot with the local municipality, and it's going to take a long time and a lot of cash. So we're dealing with lots where that has all already been done and they are ready to be built on.
All right, so let's get into the steps. All right, so we picked the area. One way I love to pick areas is it's a simple Zillow search. I like to see where, I call it my yellow dot cluster search or cluster search. The Zillow solds. I want to know where most of the land is selling, and even also, like, better yet, if we're going to buy a piece of land and build on it, we want to know where people are buying houses at. So we call it the Zillow cluster check, the yellow cluster. So I'm going to pick an area like, let's just say Florida, and I want to look and see what's happened in the last 30 days in Florida, and I want to see where the clusters are at. Let's just say it's too many. All right, let's go down to 7 days. All right, let's just say it's too many. Let's go down to 1 day. Oh yeah, there's 7 dots over here, yellow dots, there's 7 over here, there's 150 right here. Holy cow, that is an area of interest for me, which is actually happening right now on the west coast of Florida. So we are already mailing for land there to start buying land there, and I know you too as well, to build houses in those particular areas. So that's step number 1, pick your playground, and then let's really pick the playground. I love when just starting out, being within about if you're gonna build houses, you need to be within about an hour radius. My first house I ever built was about an hour and a half from my home. I acted as the general contractor. It was actually in the Black Forest while I was living in the very south end of Pueblo County. That was pure hell. I wish I would have had a good general contractor on that job. And the ones we've done together, I was living in Florida while you're in Colorado. So you really need to start thinking about who's going to manage these for you. So pick the playground, pick the area. What's the next step, Dan?
Well, you got to get the land. So you send out your marketing. And this is why land investing is so synergistic with building houses, because all the lots we buy are 30, 40, 50 cents on the dollar. And so that just adds extra margin. So there's a variety of ways to do it. You can cold call if you're low on funds. You can send out mailers or land offer letters, as you and I do, Brent. But step 2 is to actually get lots under contract. So you want to pull lists in your playground, as we're calling it, of the most ideal places. So again, having done that due diligence up front, you're going to know where are people buying new homes, where are all the utilities in place, is the soil ideal, right? That's going to vary market to market. Where is it flat? All those things matter. So then send out your marketing to those areas to then get a lot under contract that you can actually build on.
I love it. And I love sending a purchase agreement. I call it the LOL, the land offer letter. And I'll go ahead and give you that as a free gift for watching this video. And oh, by the way, if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. And also share this video with someone that needs to hear this, someone that's thinking about buying a piece of land and building a house on it, or maybe someone that wants to get into the spec home building process. Me and Dan, we're gonna share what we're making on some of these deals, and another one that he's actually doing right now. It's fascinating. But again, that free gift, that is the exact letter that Dan and I send to landowners. And you heard him say that he's getting land at less than 50 cents on the dollar. He was not mistaken. I know he was up late last night driving his girlfriend to the airport, but he was not mistaken when he said he sends letters and gets these things back in the mail, signed, ready to go, sometimes via fax too as well. People argue with me all the time. They think I'm crazy when I say get a fax machine. I mean a virtual fax machine. But we send out something called the LOL, the land offer letter, because every time we get one back signed, we laugh out loud because we just got a piece of land at 50 cents on the dollar. We're not only making money on the build, but we're buying the land right as well. So that is your gift today for free by going to thelandsharks.com/LOL. That's the letter that Dan and I send out to landowners to get land at 50 cents on the dollar. All right, so we get the land under contract. Next is our due diligence and our research. What does the research look like in the step-by-step process of buying land and building a house?
If you approached finding your market correctly, most of that is already done. Just to be safe, you always want to double check that the utility lines are there, water, sewer, gas, electric. You want to double check it is zoned as you expect, right? If you're building a house, it needs to be allowable for single family. Every now and then you'll get a lemon where there's just one lot that maybe there's a crazy hill in the middle of it or something like that. So you just want to check the topography and make sure there isn't something, wonky going on there. But again, Brent, if you did the work up front for picking your playground and then targeting the right areas within that playground, within that city, there isn't a whole lot of due diligence because, for example, all the mailers and the cold calls I have going out, I already know those lots are buildable. They have utilities. They're zoned correctly. I just have my acquisitions managers double check all those little items, but it doesn't take much time because I did the work up front. And that's why I really want to emphasize the work up front to identify the right market makes the rest of the process very, very easy.
Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed part 1. Head on over to part 2 of the step-by-step process of buying land and building a house.